Any Iranian people here? Iranian people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Love to you. Prayers for everybody you know, your family. I love Iranian people. So thank you guys. And I knew Irvine would statistically have more than Burbank. So that's why I want to do it. I want to be with the Iranians tonight. Thank you. Iran has 92 million people. I learned this from Tucker Carlson. Iran has the biggest Shia Muslim population in the world, which is unique because it's always Sunni in Saudi Arabia. Iran is a beautiful country with a rich history. You have to do more than watch Prince of Persia. I love Iranian people, and I feel like I owe them a lot because I eat their food so often. The way they crisp rice. Yeah, tadig, oh my God. It's crispy rice. Rice is naturally crispy, and then you cook it, it goes soft, but they crisped it again. Make rice crispy again. That's what I'm saying. Tadig. It's a rice that you can take in the palm of your hand and just hold it. Yeah, I love tadig. I love Iranian food. And I know that's not the greatest of reasons, but that's why I care about Iran. Iran used to have a democracy in the 1950s, but then this three-letter agency called the CIA said, "Have you heard of destabilization?" Whenever the United States has interest in a country, you gotta ask yourself, how much oil do they have? Right? And the answer is a lot, okay? Iran has 270 billion barrels of oil. I don't want to start conspiracies, okay? Because a lot of people are like, the United States is just coming for the oil. It's like nothing like that has happened in the last 8 days, okay? Iran has the world's third largest oil reserves, okay? Number one is Venezuela. Not sure if you've heard of them recently. Number two is Saudi Arabia, but they're our ally because they did 9/11. And inside job. Number three is Iran, and number four is Canada, the 51st state, soon to be. And number five is Iraq, but I don't know if we have a history with them. And so, yeah, so those are your top five oil. So no, it's never about the oil. The United States wants Iran's oil so bad. For the last nearly 50 years, we put crippling sanctions on their economy, which don't affect the government as much as it affects the people. So that's why, yes, it affects the people of Iran, okay? And that's why Iran currently has so much inflation, prices are extremely high, which just hurts me knowing that, like, the price of rice, you know? I have 1,000% solidarity with the people of Iran, okay? 1,000% solidarity with the people of Iran. Whatever they're going through, I'm with them, I feel their pain, I hear them out, because first of all, we don't know a lot about what's going on because it's really hard to get accurate information coming out of Iran, so I'm gonna share with you what I know, and I'm giving you some historical context, but we want the oil, okay? For a while they had the Shah in place, they had the monarchy, and they were kind of moving to a more westernized form of society, but a lot of people in Iran didn't want that, so they had a revolution in 1979, and you've had the same regime basically since then. It's a very polarizing topic right now because the fact of the matter is the IRGC for the longest time served as kind of the biggest symbol of anti-imperialism in the world. They resisted American imperialism and took Iran back into their own hands, but as a consequence, the United States put crippling sanctions on them, which ultimately became a problem for the people. Now, obviously, it's important to note, the government of Iran has had a lot of human rights abuses. I don't know if you know this, but humans don't like those. We also have to put it into the context of the sanctions because the sanctions made it very difficult for people to live. The United States, that's always their game. If the country doesn't give them something they want, they put sanctions on them until they're so pressured that they absolutely have to because they hate their government so much. It's like if the woman I'm interested in is dating my employee, and I want that relationship to end, so I cut his pay, and I keep cutting it till their dates get so horrendous that I slide in and be like, ever been to a Michelin-star restaurant? And then you have the CIA, which is constantly trying to do, mini psyops and basically just plan this long-term game of ultimately creating a regime change. And the CIA is like the creepy guy who stays in the friend zone, just waiting for the perfect time for the breakup to happen, except he also orchestrates and carries out the breakup. He's kind of like Diddy. Watch the documentary. A few weeks ago, protests erupted in Iran. So you got the supreme leader Khamenei, right? And a lot of people do support him. Khamenei, I don't know. Okay. Some say like only 30% support the government. Some say as much as 80% support the government. The numbers are variable, maybe because Iran invented algebra. Okay. And now the United States of Israel the West wants to install the son of the former Shah. They want to bring the Shah back. What is this, Shawshank Redemption? And so the Ayatollah is like, I told ya. We know that there are thousands of protesters in Iran who want a different form of government. This is the case. It's been the case for a very long time. This is no surprise. What makes these protests different is that Mossad is there. And this is not just a conspiracy. Even Mike Pompeo tweeted like, thank God we got Mossad on the ground in Iran. Like, were you supposed to tweet that out loud? Some are saying it's Mossad. Some are saying, no, it's the Iranian government forces and they oppress women. So either way, it's misogynists. And so the government started to crack down on the protests. The protests escalated. And then the government blacked out their internet like vital information in the Epstein files. But don't worry, Trump's on it. So Trump made a post saying he didn't like the way they treat their protesters. And he said, don't worry, help is on the way. I think he's going to send ICE. I hope he doesn't send ICE. The people of Iran are going through a lot of turmoil. A lot of them are very afraid. They can't reach their loved ones via the internet. It's a very scary situation. The numbers, I just don't know. I don't know who to believe. Some people are saying close to 2,000 people have been killed. Some people are saying it's upwards of 12,000, maybe even more. And that, either way, it is absolutely horrible. And this might be a controversial take, but I don't think bombing is going to help. I'm sorry if that offends somebody. I just don't think bombing helps anything, really, to be honest. But that's all America knows how to do. Like, all we do is bomb like a comedian who makes difficult topic choices. There's a lot of people out there saying, like, oh, where's all the Free Palestine folks now? Like, why aren't you saying free Iran? First of all, this is not the time for that. Let's actually care about the people of Iran and think of like, what is the long-term solution for these people? But also like, you need to understand from a person who supports Palestine, okay? The reason why people are not jumping to say free Iran, because they know that is code for Iran to go into the hands of the people who are the reason Palestine is not free. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the reason. That's the reason. I would just feel weird saying free Iran with the caveat that they are not free under the occupation of the same people occupying Palestine. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if Iran does become essentially occupied by Israel, they won't be free. You know what I'm saying? So yes, free Iran, but like for real. You know what I'm saying? Free Iran, like for real. Free Iran. from any oppression that it's facing internally and from the West. Iranians are good people. Iranians deserve a good economy. They deserve the best jobs. You're like, what about nose jobs? Sure. Sure. Fine. Now is not the time to say, oh, Iranians want this, Iranians want that, if you are not Iranian, okay? Talk to Iranians. Make Iranian friends, okay? Talk to Iranians. Listen to Iranians, okay? And Iranians from Iran, not Beverly Hills, but Iran, okay? Not the Shahs of Sunset, but the Jabranis of Tehranis, you know what I mean? Listen to Iranians, okay? And what they say is valid. Be there for them. Listen to them, okay? Because liberation is a collective effort. If one person is oppressed somewhere, all of us are oppressed. That's how it is. That's how it is, okay? And a lot of people say, no, if you support Free Palestine, you have to support the Iranian government because they support Palestine. No, I support Free Palestine because I give a fuck about people, okay? I give a fuck about people first. People first, okay? Because if Palestine is liberated at the expense of other people being oppressed, then it's not really liberated. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the exact same reason why we have a problem with the occupation of Palestine. If Jewish safety comes at the expense of Palestinians being oppressed, then it's not real safety, okay? So that is moral consistency, and we need to have that throughout, okay? So support the people of Iran, regardless. And the fact of the matter is, I'm anti-imperialist, okay? I'm against imperialism. That means if I'm not in your country, I have no fucking business telling you what to do with your country. Anti-imperialist means mind your own fucking business. That's what that means. It means countries do not decide what other countries do. And so a lot of people are forgetting that we people in the West, or we people outside of a specific country, we people outside of Iran, should not be telling Iran how to live their lives and what to do with their government. That is up to Iranians. That is up to Iranians, even if it's not the outcome that we want. Because just like there's microaggression, there's micro-imperialism, you know? Just like when you're like, ooh, I want to touch your hair, that's microaggression, right? Micro-imperialism's like, don't you want your government? You know, like don't tell people what to do. Let them decide this shit on their own. The truth is, two things can be true, okay? The US wants their oil because a lot of dinosaurs were there, and their government is a Tyrannosaurus, okay? Sorry, a Tyrannosaurus. And if that pisses you off, fine. Let the Iranian people decide their fate. These are people. Iranian people should not be used as bargaining chips for our political affairs globally. You know what I'm saying? So let them do what they want. These are real people. This is not a sports game. Save that energy for the World Cup. I get it's a complicated issue, but it's like, what happened to nuance? You know what I mean? The other N-word. Sorry. We're talking about Middle Eastern people. Sand nuance. If Iranians want a revolution, then they'll have a revolution. If they want to, go back to a democratic form of government that they had before the West got involved, let's celebrate them doing that. Let them do whatever they want. But we also don't want the West to continue meddling in their business. And as Americans, the very least we can do is not vote for these motherfuckers who keep wanting to do shit in Iran. You know what I mean? All these motherfuckers. We need to stop Iran. We need to stop, well, they say Iran. We need to stop Iran. Iran. The motherfuckers want to attack a place, they can't even fucking say the name right. Iran. No, you ran your mouth, motherfucker. Do your fucking research. Do your fucking research. I always stand with the people. I don't stand with governments. That's just my policy. I stand with the people, not the government, period. Bar none. That's how I roll, okay? But like, I don't think governments are inherently evil because governments are made of people. You know what I mean? I know there's good, even in like evil governments, I know there's like decent people. Like, I don't think everybody who works for the US government is evil. Just like I don't think everybody in the Iranian government is evil. And Israel, well, never mind. You get what I'm saying. Americans, we find it so easy to criticize other governments when they know their government better than we do. And like Iranians, they don't know, well, actually they know our government pretty well, actually, but I think everybody does at this point because it's publicly available information. But, I just feel like we criticize government so freely that like The only way we could actually know that is by like maybe if we did like a government swap. You know, like Wife Swap, remember that show? But like for governments, just for like a month. We're like, oh my God, dude, the IRGC is wild. So solidarity with the people of Iran. I think the whole world needs a revolution, you know, and I right? And I think that happens, you know, I think that happens from people like opening their mind a little bit, listening to other people, and not trying to always force their opinions on other people. Because your opinion is only one side of the story. It's 180 degrees. Bring some math into this. Your opinion is only 180 degrees. So you got to get the other opinion to get the full 360, and that's a revolution. You know what I'm saying? That's a revolution. But not too many revolutions, because that's a vicious cycle. So, thank you so much, everybody. I'll talk to you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Take care.
I used to teach history, and I taught kids from the inner city. I taught gangsters, if you know what those are. And I had to come up with gangster analogies to relate the lesson plans. So, for example, we were doing U.S. history of the 1900s. I was like, all right, U.S. history of the 1900s. Imagine you're at a party with your homies. You got your French homie and your British homie. And then a German dude comes up, starts picking on your homies. You're like, what the hell? So you knock the German dude out. Pop! And the whole party's like, damn. Now your weed gets all dry, and then you put your money on the dice games, and the dice games crash. You're like, oh, shoot, depression. And then the German dude comes back, he starts picking on your Jewish homie. You're like, what the hell? But then you get socked in the back of the head by a Japanese dude. Like, oh, what's going on? You take out the German dude and the Japanese dude. Pop, pop. The whole party's like, damn. Now you see two Korean twin brothers fighting, right? One's wearing red, one's wearing blue. You help out the one in blue, because you're a Crip. You know what I'm saying? Then you're like, shoot, I'm gonna go holler at this Vietnamese, Ho Chi Minh, right? That's her name, Chi Minh. She's a hoe. You're like, what's up, Ho Chi Minh? You looking good, girl. She splashes orange soda back in your face. Meanwhile, across the party, there's a Russian dude straight staring you down, really cold. The Russian dude's like, what? You're like, what? And nothing ever happens. There's an Iraqi dude burning up the rug. You chase him out the party. He disappears for 10 years. You give your Somalian homie a sandwich. You get a blowjob in the bathroom from a girl named Monica. You're like, my bad. And that's the 1900s right there. That's all it is. Thank you guys so much. I'm Sammy Obeid. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you.
I do split-second impressions. They're very, very short. What I do is I channel the aura of the celebrity. I bring them to life. So give me something that we all know. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll do one at a time. First one was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Here's my split-second impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Split-second impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Did you see it? I'm not just doing random stuff. I'm channeling the aura. What's next? Give me someone else.
Dave Chappelle.
Okay, we got Dave Chappelle, Donald Trump, and what was over here? E40. Split-second impression of Donald Trump. It's all the lips. And now I'm going to do split-second of E40 and then split-second of Dave Chappelle back to back. Split-second impression of E40, then Dave Chappelle. Split-second impression of E40. These are not easy to do. Do a lot of practicing in front of mirrors.
There's a lot of etiquette when you text, especially if you're dating someone. I was dating this girl. She would always text me moi. Moi means kiss, right? I didn't know that when I saw it spelled out, M-U-A-H. Thought it was the evil laugh. I thought every night she was texting me, good night, sleep tight. Like, what's gonna happen in my sleep? She's texting me things, I'm about to board this plane. Like, get her off that plane now. And I found out it just means kiss. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. She's like, yeah, whenever I send moi, you're supposed to send moi back. It's polite. I was like, I even argued. I was like, I got this. Moi times 100. Boom. Does that cover me through July? How does that work? She was like, no, and I want you to start texting me, I miss you. I was like, okay, how am I supposed to know when to do that, you know? Because look, I don't think people really miss other people. I think we just get bored with our own situation and we direct that boredom at someone else. You know what I mean? That's what love is. It's misdirected boredom. She's like, whenever I send you XOXO, you're supposed to send XOXO back. I'm like, what is this, tic-tac-toe? What are the rules here? You basically want me to just repeat every message that you send. So I just gave her an email address that doesn't exist. So whatever message she sends, just bounces right back. That's the same message. She's like, who the hell is Mailer Demon? I'm like, mwahahaha. Give me another topic. Algebra.
No.
What do you mean, no? No more math? No more math, dog? You see the position that I'm in right now? Let's talk about dating. I am asexual, which means I only have sex with Canadians. And there was a period of time where I did identify as asexual, which means I wasn't that interested in sex. And then a friend told me, you know, you're part of the LGBTQA community. I was like, oh, I didn't know I was annexed. That's cool, but I don't feel like it's fair for me to be a part of it, because it's like gay and trans people have endured a real struggle. I'm just out here not fucking. You know what I mean? So I thought I should make my own community that's like a little more inclusive. So we would have asexuals. But gay and lesbian people are welcome, for sure. You can join the community too. We just can't be in yours. That's how it would work. And then also ecosexuals. You know what ecosexuals are? Ecosexuals are people who have sex, but it's good for the environment. You know? Like using bamboo condoms or cruelty-free coming, you know? Cruelty-free orgasming. Ecosexual, it's a real thing. You can look it up. I did make it up right now. But it should be a thing. Sorry, bisexual, you're welcome as well, of course. Can't forget bisexual. And then just like we have asexual, we should also have really sexual. You know what I mean? Right? Because there's people who are just like very really sexual, and you should be in this community too, if you're really sexual, right? Then we should also have agnosexual. Agnosexual is like agnostic, but for sexuality. Like, I can't prove that sexuality exists. I don't know if it exists. I can't prove I'm horny. I don't know if I'm horny. What is horny? I can't prove that horniness exists. I don't know if I am horny or not. What's going on? So yeah, that would be my community. Just to recap, that's asexual, lesbian, gay, ecosexual, bisexual, really sexual, and agnosexual. Why? Because it spells algebra. You can't escape the math. You guys ready for the 2024 election? Yeah, Elon versus Zuckerberg. Let's go, huh? It's a cage match. I think all elections should be cage matches. I think more people would turn up to vote, right? Because elections aren't about who you like anymore. They're about who you hate less. And what better way to see that expressed than a cage match? And that's what it is, right? The old man competition is going down next year. And they're just like, we picked America's 2 most hated senior citizens and put them comb over to comb over. And you gotta pick which one you like that other people hate more. Figure it out. Like, what? Is this how voting is supposed to work? It's the lesser of two evils. This is the worst of all evils at this point, I'm pretty sure. Like, we all know that they're demons at this point. It's like, come on down and pick your favorite demon. That's why it's called democracy. Like, we all know that Biden is too old to be president, but we're not supposed to say it out loud because it's mean, I guess, even though he can't hear us. It's cruel. It's cruel to be, like, a vote for Biden is basically voting to watch someone die on their job. It's not a nice thing at all. I mean, forget about the country for a moment. For his sake, let him die in an old folks' home. You think he wants to be president? He's getting tased every day by Jill. She doesn't want to hold the taser anymore. They gave it to her. But everybody's like, okay, obviously he's not the greatest candidate, but he's the best that we can do. Do you really think that? If Joe Biden is the best that we can do, I'm a goddamn Republican. I'm sorry. I would rather ban my Muslim family from coming over to see my shows than have them here and witness the embarrassment of our leader falling down another flight of stairs. And everybody's like, this is ageism. This is ageism. Yeah, there's an age that isn't good to be president. You should know this by now. If you want to screen ageism, then let 10-year-olds vote. It goes both ways. Have an 8-year-old show up to the polls. I'm here for my vote. No, thank you. Well, this is ageism. You're letting the old guy run. I should be here. That's right. 80-year-olds shouldn't be president and 10-year-olds shouldn't vote. There's a nice range in between. Life expectancy is 78. You want to chance it by 2 years? And I'm not against, I love old people. My grandma is 96 years old and she's killing the game right now. She walks up 2 flights of stairs every day. She makes dementia jokes on the regular. And you know why she makes dementia jokes? Because she can remember them. That's the contract. How do you guys feel about Kamala Harris? Cool, mixed opinion. I like it. I like it. I'm tired of people picking on Kamala Harris. The Kamala Harris jokes, they're funny, but they're not cool. Kamala Harris is part of too many
historically disenfranchised groups. I don't care. Joke all you want. Kamala Harris is a strong, black, Asian, female, mentally challenged person, and you will treat her as such. Even the person who supported her is laughing. I'm just saying, we all know. We all know what the deal is. She's part of many voiceless, powerless groups, and she now is the vice president, which is the most voiceless, powerless position you can have in the universe. I already got in trouble for that joke, don't you worry. A very nice special needs individual came up to me and says, hey, that was not cool. I'm like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said mentally challenged. He's like, no, looping her with us, that was not cool. You will not do that. People ask me what I think about Trump. It's like, I don't talk about Trump in my act anymore because I think his name got out there too much. I don't have an opinion on Trump. I'm a math guy. I just look at numbers. And I look at Trump's data sets. So when Trump was president, he had the lowest approval ratings in history, which makes him in mathematics an outlier, right? Biden also low too, but both the guys outliers. People don't give Trump credit for is that he was consistently low, but consistent, right? Like when people hated him, he didn't try to kiss a baby to gain some points. He's like, I'm gonna keep saying the same shit and go straight. And in mathematics, we call that a flat curve. So, yeah. So people ask, what's your opinion on Trump? I don't have an opinion on Trump, but mathematically, he's a flat outlier. Thank you so much. I'm Sammy Obeid. Thanks for coming out to the show tonight. Y'all are amazing. Love you. I don't speak for Palestinians. I think that we should stop using the name Palestine. It's the colonial name. I think we should drop it and go with Palestine. Palestine is the Arabic way of saying it. The only issue with that is then Americans would have to pronounce that. And they'd be like, Palestine! We're going to Palestine, kids. It's been an incredibly difficult time for people who have family over there and, are watching everything that's going on. I'm actively calling for a ceasefire because I suffer from this condition called empathy. I posted that I want a ceasefire, and this guy was like, oh, so you're just for taking hostages? And what a horrible thing to say. No, I am against hostages. I want the hostages to come home. I want the Israeli hostages to come home, and I want the thousands of Palestinian hostages to come home. Nobody should be a hostage. I am anti-hostage, okay? I don't even like having people over. I don't like inviting people over to my house. I don't like them willingly coming over to my house. I am anti-guest, okay? One time I had guests over for too long, it became a hostage crisis. I didn't want them there. You have to feed them, take care of their emotional needs. I live with my mom. I'd have to clear it by my mom first before I could even think about taking hostages. I'm not taking hostages because I don't want to be a host. You got to be a host to take hostages, and that's very stressful. That's where the root of the word hostages come from, because the host ages from the stress. But that's been the wildest part as a comedian about this whole thing is the censorship. The censorship on Israel-Palestine is pretty wild, man. You guys know Elon Musk, the president of X? So Elon Musk, he visited Israel but wouldn't visit Gaza, which is like, you'd think Elon would have a little more sympathy for the Palestinians because he has a history of building tunnels. And he could learn how to finish them. But Elon Musk came out on X and he said, anyone who uses the term decolonize or from the river to the sea will be suspended on this platform. It's like, so much for freedom of speech, big guy. Thought that was your whole thing. You can't say from the river to the sea? What if you're giving directions to someone on a boat? See a guy on a boat near the ocean, in a little lake, like, hey buddy, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go from the river to the... Whoa! What you doing there? Hey, I'm just saying, from the river to the sea, his boat will be free. That's all I was saying. No, but you're saying once it gets out on the ocean, it's gonna sink the other boats. Like, this isn't Battleship. I'm just giving directions. I want the liberation of that particular boat. That is simply what I'm saying. From the river to the sea. You know who else uses from the river to the sea? A baby salmon. Aww. Yeah. All the baby salmons are born, they're hatched upstream, and they have to swim from the river to the sea. From the river to the sea is a tale of a liberation of the baby salmons that you eventually eat. You want to ban that? Okay, I'm not going to be completely insensitive. I like to
sympathize and empathize with people. I understand. If the term from the river to the sea makes you feel uncomfortable because you've heard it in a certain way, I want to sympathize with that, okay? Has the term, let's be honest, has the phrase from the river to the sea been used with the implication of the dissolution of Israel? Yes. But has it also been used by Israelis with the implication of the dissolution of Palestinians? Yes, it's in the Likud manifesto in the 70s. So can we be fair here? Are we just going to ban all ambiguous terms? Should we also ban I'll call you later? That's extremely ambiguous. For some people that means I'll call you in an hour. For some it means I'm never calling you. That last one is extremely disingenuous. I've been hurt by that phrase many times. Should we also ban I love you? Nobody knows what the fuck that means. That term has been abused. Terms can be ambiguous. You know, we do need to acknowledge that. In the meantime, I'll avoid ambiguous terms. I don't even use the term Zionist, okay? Not because I don't know what it means, which I don't, okay? But because nobody knows what it means. No, but not even Zionists know what Zionist means. It's a very ambiguous term. Like, you know, ask your Jewish friends. Talk to your Jewish friends about Zionism. It sounds like an infomercial. Talk to your Jewish friends about Zionism. Well, step one, get Jewish friends, okay? Step one, get Jewish friends. And ask them how they feel about Zionism. And you'll discover that there's many different interpretations of Zionism. It's like levels of a video game. There's like level 1 Zionism, which is like, I believe the Jews should have a homeland and they should be safe. And you're like, hell yeah, who would disagree with that? You'd have to be a monster to disagree with that. And then there's level 2, which is like, yeah, it should specifically be in Palestine, and they're going to have to work it out with the Palestinians. And you're like, okay, where is this going? And then there's level 3 Zionism, which is suddenly like, God wants me to be here, and if you got a problem with that, say hello to my little friend. Like, whoa, whoa. I'm just trying to pick olives, man. And those are like the lower levels. The most extreme level of Zionism isn't even coming from Jewish people. It's coming from the Christians, the evangelicals. Christian Zionism, that's the wildest one. That's like the final level. That's like all Jews proceed to the Holy Land so Jesus can commence the end times. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that? What was that? Do you even like Jewish people? Why do you want the end times so bad, buddy? You want this video game to be over. The evangelicals want game over. Yeah. And then we should also note that there is also Jamaican Zionism for some reason. Yeah. Occasionally in reggae songs, you hear Zion, Zion, bumba, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay. That's a thing too. Okay, sure. All right. Well, my point is that nobody knows what Zionism means. Right? But if you speak with your Jewish friends, okay, of course there's anti-Zionist Jews as well, but if you speak with your Jewish friends, you'll find that many of them, most of them, I would say, are the first 2 levels. And if we can be understanding of that, then we should also be understanding of the fact that when most people say, from the river to the sea, they just mean that Palestine will be free. That's all they mean. That's all they mean. They're not asking for anybody to get hurt. They want the liberation of millions of people to live with freedom and self-determination. And you would think we would understand this in this country, America. America, America, the land of freedom of speech. Where as long as your intentions are good, you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want. From the river to the motherfucking sea. What the fuck was that, you know? Every day I send everybody I know videos coming out of Gaza because even before all of this madness, I liked ruining people's holidays. And I think people need to know. I think people need to see the realities. A lot of people are just not watching the videos from Gaza. Anybody who just looks okay, they're not watching videos from Gaza. Every time you hear the devastating news coming out of Gaza, you hear this many thousand people have been killed, and this many of them are women and children. Every time it's this many of them are women and children. And this is horrible. Women and children are getting killed. And also, do we not care about men anymore? Do we just stop caring about men? Where are you at, Jordan Peterson? I'm here to say that Palestinian men matter, okay? There is nothing wrong with being a Palestinian man. I tell myself this in the mirror every morning. There is nothing wrong with being a Palestinian man. If you watch the videos coming out of Gaza, every time a bomb drops, you see a neighborhood of Palestinian men rushing to the scene, moving giant rocks, lifting bodies from the rubble and carrying them to safety. All while wearing sandals. Open toe. Open toe. The fearlessness of these men and their feet is underrated, okay? You don't want to go toe to toe with a Palestinian man. Strong arches, these fellows. Strong arches. These men are out here doing God's work without proper footwear. And this is proof that Palestinian men have good souls.
This is going after the most dangerous group in America. College kids. Yeah. I see these little protesters out there with their little signs with peace signs and hearts on them. They're out there holding hands in the quad. Some of them smoking reefers. Thank God we have strapped federal agents rolling up in dozens to take down one of these little kids at a time. The most efficient use of my tax dollars I've ever seen. Now, ISIS somehow, they have like a El Salvadorian team and then the rest is dedicated to college kids. Yeah. You guys obviously know what ICE is, but do you know what ICE stands for? Israel's coming for everybody. You know. You know. But kind of though. Kind of though, right? ICE is really putting a lot into these college kids. And not just any college kids, it's pro-Palestine protesters. And if you've been watching over the last few months, they've been like in groups just rolling up and kidnapping these kids, detaining them and threatening to deport them, which is already, questionable and also just like pretty alarming if you're a student here on a visa with a point of view, that people should live. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, what's next? Am I going to jail? It's pretty scary, even just as like a third-party observer who's, calling ICE frequently myself. It's pretty alarming to watch these students just get straight up abducted and handcuffed and just like roughed up in that way. And it was scary for a minute, because if you've been paying attention recently, you would see that one by one, each one of these kids is winning their cases. One by one. Thanks to something called a due process in the Constitution. And so thankfully the law is starting to work again. However, it's not over. There's a lot of battles that are ongoing. There is one major case that's kind of at the center of all of this, and that is keep your eyes on a man named Mahmoud Khalil. Keep your eyes on this guy. Mahmoud Khalil, if you're not familiar, is a Syrian immigrant of Palestinian origin who moved to the United States on a scholarship to Columbia University. He's a very smart kid. There's absolutely no arguing that. And during his time on campus, he was very active in the pro-Palestine protests, specifically protesting the genocide in Gaza. The U.S. government didn't like this because they're the ones doing genocide. So it's kind of a conflict of interest for them. So they sent federal agents to straight up kidnap him and took him to detention in Louisiana. Which at that point is like, just get me out of the country. You know what I mean? Like personally, I don't know what it's like to almost be deported, but like you take me to detention in Louisiana, like just send me home. You know what I mean? Like that's too swampy for me in there. And they don't get my mouth jokes, so yeah, they straight up kidnapped him, mind you, while his wife was pregnant. It was abusive. So everybody saw this and like, yo, government, like what's up with that? Like you're always known for being so kind-hearted. Like why did you suddenly switch teams like that? And the government's like, we had to get this guy, okay, because he's a terrorist. You're like, why? What's your proof? He's like, well, he was on campus handing out terrorist pamphlets, probably giving out little terrorist gummy bears with it too. We saw him looking at the students. He was giving them the terrorist smile. You're like, wow, this is some really good evidence. What do you have as proof? Like, here's a picture of Mahmoud smiling. And you're like, wow, so you have nothing.
That's all they have is just pictures of him smiling. Look up a picture of Mahmoud Khalil. He's like the sweetest looking guy. Every picture of him, he's just smiling wearing a pink polo shirt. Like, he looks like he'll you up in chess. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like he'll give you a hug. You'd be like, wow, that was a really good hug. You know? Like, he's a teddy bear. He's adorable. Like, dude, like, why'd you choose him as your fear campaign to try to suppress the movement? Like, I have 3 cousins who look like terrorists. I could have helped you out. One of them actually might be a terrorist. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You could use them, you know? But you chose the sweet, innocent looking teddy bear guy, you know? It's like, you up, government, man. You up. You got to give it to the government. They tried, man. They tried to make this fear campaign. They gave it a good college try. But they messed up. They messed up because I don't know if you can tell by his name, but Mahmoud Khalil is Arab, okay? And every Arab knows 7,000 lawyers. They're all in our families. Any typical brown family, you're either doctor, lawyer, engineer. That's it. Khalas. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Right? Yes, 1 out of 1,000 times, stand-up comedian. Okay? Somewhere along the line, someone makes a wrong turn, has to deliver the message. Okay? But typically, doctor, lawyer, engineer. Okay? So 1/3 of my family is lawyers by blood. Okay? Yeah. And I almost went to law school. Almost. So I can say confidently, the Arab lawyers, we good. Yeah, we good. Are there any Arab lawyers in here? Okay. Well, one. Yeah, we good. We good. The government, they went after Mahmoud Khalil because he's on Columbia campus. Columbia is like the hub of the Palestine protests in the nation. And so they thought if they get this guy, because he was a leader of their movement, it's going to set an example nationwide to suppress the movement. That's what they thought. But they messed up because Mahmoud Khalil already had like 100 lawyers ready to go. And Arab lawyers, I'm telling you, we good, like, we good, okay? Arab lawyers, we will you up, okay? In the courts. Not the basketball courts, okay? But the legal courts, okay? Yeah, people say we're terrorists, we're mental terrorists, for sure, dude. We'll you up with some logic games, you know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's true. Arabs fundamentally understand how to use the law. Okay? Why? Because we were kind of around when the law was invented. Okay? To start civilization, you're going to need laws. So Mahmoud Khalil, he has an amazing legal team already. And if you don't believe me, you think I'm just talking because I almost went to law school, okay? I mean, like, almost. Like, I looked into tuition and everything. And it was too much. And if you don't believe me, let me give you an example of how badass Arab lawyers are in a way that you probably don't even know, okay? Are you aware that in the United States, every Middle Eastern person is considered white? Did you know this? Yes. When I fill out a census form, I have to check the white bubble. Okay? Yeah. You've come to see a white man tonight. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. This is not a DEI show. No. I earned this, okay? I earned this. I'm doing this for all the other whites, okay? We're out here, man. We're out here. We're proud, right, guys? Come on. But yeah, I can't say it enough. I'm white, okay? And there's a reason for this. There's a reason why we're considered white. It's because there was a major court case that was won in 1909, okay? 1909, which is a year that none of us wanted to be alive in. Okay? Yeah. Even us white people. No? Okay? Not a good year for any of us, okay? And in 1909, in the United States, there was a Syrian immigrant, much like Mahmoud Khalil, who moved to the United States to pursue a better life for him and his family. He moved to Los Angeles and wanted to be a police officer, okay? Not my first choice of profession. Personally, I wouldn't come here as a foreigner and be like, LAPD, let's go. That's what he wanted to do. Bless his heart. And
He wanted to protect and serve his community. And one night, he's patrolling his neighborhood, just doing his job. And there's this drunk kid, maybe late teens, early 20s, running around, breaking things, cursing, starting fights. Could have been from Manchester, Connecticut. I don't know. So, rightfully so, the Syrian immigrant arrests the kid. And as he's arresting the kid's like, oh, do you know who my father is? That's never a good sign when you hear that. And it turns out this kid's dad was one of the most prominent lawyers in the LA area. And immediately, the lawyer dad took the Syrian immigrant to court, charged him, saying that he had no right to arrest his son because he was, quote, not a real American.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, which, I know there's some immigrants in here like, hey, that's a compliment. No, it's not. It's a mean thing to say. This guy's just trying to blend in, live a better life. Mind you, the Syrian immigrant, his name was George. Can you get any more American of a name than George Washington? You know what I mean? It wasn't Washington. It was like, it was something else. It was like George Khalil or something like that. But still, it's like, come on, man. This guy's just trying to blend in. His name is George. And you're saying he had no right to do his job properly because he's not a real American? But they made a mistake. They made a mistake because George was Arab and already had 100 lawyers ready to go. He had them on his speed dial, okay, on his rotary phone. He was ready. And so he assembles a legal team from the Arabs in his community. They're all his cousins. And they put together a case. And they really worked hard on it. And immediately, they took it to the city court, won that. They took it to the state court, won that. They made it all the way to the Supreme Courts of the United States. This is crazy. You can look this up. I'm not making this up. I had to do research for this, okay? I almost was a lawyer. In 1909, a Syrian immigrant makes it in front of the Supreme Court of the United States. That's unheard of. Arab lawyers, man. Arab, look, we'd a bomb. You know what I'm saying? I could pick a better, whatever. We good. Now, unfortunately, in 1909, having an Arab lawyer at the Supreme Court was not very en vogue. So they had to hire white lawyers to represent George in court. So they had the white lawyers, but the white lawyers got all their counsel from the Arab lawyers in his community. So it was basically Arab lawyers in whiteface. It was a reverse Trudeau situation. And so in 1909, these lawyers, they get in front of the Supreme Court. They get in front of a Supreme Court judge, and they're like, Your Honor, we are here today to prove that my client, George, is innocent, that he is, in fact, a real American, because he's white. And that is our case. And the whole courtroom's like, what the f*** are you talking about? Like, he's not white. Like, we see how the beard curls, you know what I mean? He's got like a 9 o'clock shadow, you know? Like, this whole courtroom smells like olive oil. He's not white. Okay? They're like, no, Your Honor, we'll prove it. We're just going to ask a few questions, okay? First question, Your Honor. Exhibit A, where is my client from? The judge is like, L.A. He's like, no, where is he from? And then the judge is like, the Middle East. And the lawyer's like, more specifically. And the judge is like, the Levant, the Levantine region. And the lawyer's like, nailed it. Next question. Your Honor, Exhibit B. Who is your Lord and Savior? The judge starts to sweat. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, of course. That's the only one you're allowed to have in 1909. And the lawyer's like, nailed it. Sorry. We just have one more question, Your Honor. Your Honor, Exhibit C. Where is your Lord and Savior from? And now the judge is in a pool of sweat. He's like, you know what?
Your client, George, is innocent because he's white. From then on, they made all Middle Eastern people in America white because they would rather make Middle Eastern people white than make Jesus Christ brown. Arab lawyers, dude. Diabolical. So I'm calling it right now. Mahmoud Khalil is going to win his case. Because he's white.
Yep.
Since 1909. Kash Patel was not included on the shooter's hit list. Yeah. So the shooter, the White House Correspondents' Center shooter wrote a manifesto. It's a great read. He doesn't miss. And in it, he lists his rules of engagement and says everybody in the administration is a target, parentheses, except Mr. Patel. Now, he says Mr. Patel, so he could be talking about a coworker, like a fellow teacher or something. Mr. Patel, he teaches chemistry. We all know Mr. Patel. But I'm pretty sure he was talking about Cash Money. He said, except Mr. Patel. That's gotta fucking hurt, dude. You're not even on the assassin's hit list. That's gotta hurt more than a bullet. He didn't make the cut, and he's such a pick-me, too, so you know that shit fucking stings. Cuts deep, dude. Let's be honest, if you work for the government, okay, if you work for a corrupt government and no one wants to kill you, you're not working hard enough. Be better at being evil, you know what I mean? Fucking drinking on the job. And yeah, so he said excluding Mr. Patel, and then he said prioritizing highest ranking to lowest ranking. So Kash is not even on the fucking ranks. He's prioritizing high ranks, so even Cash's spy girlfriend ranks higher than him on the fucking list. Yeah, dude, that's yeah, and they were speculating. They're like, why did he not want to kill Kash? Some speculated it's because Kash is Hindu, and the shooter was anti-Christian, which is a lie. The shooter calls himself a Christian in the manifesto, and like also it's like what like. If you kill a Hindu, they just reincarnate. So like, what the fuck? Like, everybody knows that. You know, I don't think the shooting was religiously motivated. Okay, but like, if you look at who's in the government, we do know there were no Muslim targets. Praise be to Allah. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Why was Kash not a target? Maybe it's because he knows Kash is drunk, not going to feel the pain as much, you know? Also, Kash is such an easy target. You can see him seeing you from a mile away. He literally has two bull's eyes. Excluding Mr. Patel. Or maybe just Kash wrote that shit himself. Maybe he fabricated the whole thing. It's all a fucking psyop. And they're like, all right, Kash, you write the manifesto. He's like, okay, got it. I'm gonna exclude myself as a target so people think I'm doing a good job. Please, call me Mr. Patel. I'm gonna be honest though, I thought the whole thing was staged until I read that part of the manifesto. That made me question it. Because that actually is a very competent shooter thing to say. You know? Because of course he would want to leave Kash Patel alive. Because if Kash Patel stays alive, he will be the one investigating the shooting. That's the best fucking outcome any shooter could ever want. They'll be in Valhalla by Tuesday. The White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter. Yeah. You know. There was a photo on the internet. There was a photo of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter wearing an IDF sweatshirt. Okay. I believe that it's AI, okay? It looks like it's AI, but some people say it's real and that it was taken from his profile before they took it down. But, you know, here's the thing. I mean, to me, the photo looked AI, okay? And it's like you don't need to make an AI photo for me to have already questioned if Israel was involved. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't need to do that, you know? And I said this to my friend. He's like, you know, Israel doesn't have to be connected to everything. And I'm like, well, first of all, not necessarily. Secondly, like, don't say that to a Palestinian. You know what I mean? Like if there's one thing I get to do my entire life, it's accuse Israel of being involved in everything. That's kind of my form of birthright. You know what I mean? Like, you get the free summer trips, I get conspiracy theories. You know, it's not even a great deal. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, if the government indeed staged this shooting, okay, which a lot of people do believe, because like, why the fuck would you not with all this weird shit going on? If the government did stage the shooting, then yes, of course Israel's involved, because Israel and the United States government are the same fucking thing. They're intertwined on all of the intelligence operations, so of course they would fucking know, okay? Now, if it just happened to be this lone wolf teacher from Torrance, okay, then no, I don't think Israel was directly involved, okay? But let's be fair here. Let's also be fair here, because I don't know if you know this, they didn't book any comedians at the White House Correspondents' Dinner because they were afraid that we would say the P word, right? I'm not talking about pussy, okay? And so instead, what do? They booked a mentalist, okay? A mentalist is basically a comedian who doesn't tell jokes, okay? A mentalist is somebody who controls your mind but entertains you while you're doing it. So they're a good fit for the US government. So they booked this mentalist, okay? And the mentalist was up there mentaling, okay? Doing mental tricks, and you know, he was in the groove. He had everybody going, oh wow, you know, showing cards, and everybody was like amused and stimulated. And that's when the shooting happened. So as far as we know, this could have all been part of the mentalist's trick that never officially ended. So yeah, this could all just be the mentalist's act, you know? So I was curious. I was like, where is this mentalist from? You can Google it yourselves, guys. It's an Israeli mentalist, guys. It's an Israeli mentalist. Because who the fuck else is going to do the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2026? Fucking the only entertainer who's down with Israel first. You know? So yes, they hired an Israeli mentalist, and literally, while he was on stage doing his thing, that's when the shooting happened, okay? And you could be like, oh, that's fucked up to just say that, you know, he could go that far to make a shooting happen. Well, he didn't stop it. But I will be fair here. I will be fair here, all right? And you'll never, you know, this is kind of a rare thing that you'll hear from a Palestinian, okay? But I am an entertainer, so I respect the craft when I see it. And I will say, okay, he was doing a good job, okay? He was up there, he was making people go, ah, ooh, ah. You know, he was doing his job as a mentalist. I've seen his work. He's actually pretty good at it. And so I give credit where credit's due. You know, you'll rarely hear this anywhere else, but I am very fair about things. And I will say, I was impressed that as an Israeli mentalist, he didn't bomb. Okay? Because if he was going to, he would have dropped little leaflets first. He would have just been like, here's a bomb right here, bomb right here. I always like to have a portion of my show where I ask the crowd, is there anything I haven't talked about yet tonight you'd like for me to talk about?
Mike Lee.
Mike Lee?
Yeah.
Who's Mike Lee? Fuck Mike Lee. That's what you said, right? Fuck Mike Lee, right? Fuck Mike Lee. Fuck Mike Lee. And I'm not afraid to say it. I'm a real comedian. I'm not afraid to say fuck Mike Lee. Because I don't know who that is. And fuck him for not being in my register. Him, her. Him, Mike, fuck Mike Lee. Yeah. Is he,
Big beautiful bill.
Is he Congress? What is he? He's a senator. And he's a piece of fucking shit. And I'll say it again. Fuck Mike Lee. He's fuck my yeah. Yes. This is a political rally. Are you his opponent? He's selling out public lands, guys. And let's talk about climate change. And he did bring them? He's trying to bring them.
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin who?
Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary's trying to bring him too?
Yeah.
Fuck Kevin O'Leary, man. Fuck Kevin O'Leary. Fuck Mike Lee. Fuck Kevin O'Leary. Fuck Mike Lee. Fuck Kevin. This might be my last show in Utah, guys. I think I'm going to go through the whole list of your politicians. Fuck Governor Cox. Governor, suck my cocks. That's right. That's right. I said it. I fucking said it. Lee O'Leary Cox. Fuck all these motherfuckers, dude. Who? Yeah, of course, that too. You know, people always say, why don't you say fuck Israel more? I don't have to because there's no bigger fuck you to Israel than saying free Palestine. Melania is an escort or was? There's an accusation that she was, right? And you saw that in the Lego video too, right? We watched the same Lego videos, it seems. Well, yeah, I mean, there was allegations that she was in fact trafficked to Trump. I think by Epstein or by one of his associates. Some say that she was an escort, which, like I said, hey, I respect the hustle. Of course, Melania was an escort. Like, how else would they have met? Think about it logically.
Tell your accounting joke about Epstein.
My which one? My accounting joke? That's. I'm so flattered that you that it's like a like a concert. It was like, yeah, fucking do Freebird, dude, do fucking Freebird. And I am flattered, but that joke is like 10 minutes long. But go look it up. Oh, the dolphins? Yeah, Gerald's the dolphin. So I don't know if you guys heard, basically they're training dolphins in the Florida area to do military operations. I believe specifically to sniff for mines. So I believe that it's more on the defensive, but who knows? I mean, dolphins dolphins can be used as weapons, They can train them to sniff for mines and then basically molest surfers. So that's a scary weapon of war. It's like we're about to fucking release the dolphins. You don't want to be in these waters at the wrong time. You might have to start a job you won't be able to finish. China has jellyfish drones? Like, are they drones or are they jellyfish? They're drones that look like jellyfish. Okay. They're actually jellyfish, but they act like drones? That's fucking weird. Do they have chips in their brains? Are they hybrid? Are they like hybrid AI? That would be scary. She's just like, they're jellyfish, but they do the work. Crazy. Anybody else have some aqua? Is that you? Yeah. Fuck yeah. I have hope for you. Are you good at making coffee? I'm kidding. That's a classic joke. I mean, says the math major, right? What are you doing with it right now?
I want to do education, so I'm a dual major.
Okay, so you're still in college? Yeah. Okay, good. Stay there. You were where? I was at UVU with Kirk shot. No shit. Yeah. What time? What time? What time was your class? Huh? Oh, you were there for. Oh, you were there for the. So you were like there. Oh, you were there. Yeah. You saw it? You saw it? You saw the shrapnel? Did it look like that? Did it look? You wear glasses, yeah. She's like, I left them at home. The alien said so. That's who fucking did it. That's who fucking did it. The alien just beamed him up right in front of us. Left the decoy. The bullet doesn't match, yeah. I mean, they said it was a 30-06 round, which, like, if you watch videos, that's what they said, right? They initially said it was a 30-06 round, but like, if you see videos of 30-06 blowing through fucking concrete.
Yeah. Tell us about love.
Good transition. Yeah. You're right. We were talking about the forensics of the Charlie Kirk scene. And you're like, but what about love? You're right. You're right. We need to think about love a little more. And you said, tell us about it, as if I'm some kind of fucking expert. Dude, if I tell you about love, we're all fucked, dude. Do you understand? Not the best to seek advice from. However, I will say, best kind of love is self-love. Best kind of love is self-love. If you can love yourself, you can love anybody. If you can love yourself, you can be loved by anybody. But you have to love yourself first, and that shit's hard. It's just hard, you know? It took me like 30 years to love myself. Imagine I was 30 years, I was just living with no self-love. Feels good though. And this is where it gets a little dark. But self-love is very important, and it took me a long time to find it. And I talked to a lot of people, it took them long to find it. And the common thread is, to find self-love, you gotta break up with a lot of people. So you gotta create some space in your life. And some of you might already be good. You might already have the self-love, but you know, you gotta love yourself. You gotta find the right toys too, yeah. Utah after hours, I see. Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Mormon City. Fucking, yep, that's right. So let's reiterate, let's recap. You want love in your life, you gotta find self-love, and you gotta get the right toys. Okay? Any other questions? What is my favorite toy? Fair question. Well, I like Legos. To be honest, I see those videos, I get excited. Candace Owens. Erica called her the most vile person, or who called her? Time Magazine called Candace Owens the most vile person. That's crazy. Like, what's their beef with her? That's wow. That's who the fuck runs Time Magazine? Well, anyways, but yeah, no, I disagree with that. I like Candace Owens. I mean, she can be a bit out there at times, but I think in a lot of ways she's doing a lot of great work. A lot of great work. Literally, like after Charlie Kirk thing, like the only people who were like posting investigative journalism about what happened was me and her for like a couple weeks. Except she was actually his friend. I'm just doing it for the grift. But anyways, what else? What's that?
In Utah, we just
CD1?
CD1.
What is it? A state law or district? District 1, is that in Salt Lake? And who got it? Christian? She said something Muhammad. I was like, Christian? Good Christian? Is he Mormon? I'm guessing for Congress? For Congress? First Muslim Congress member, probably. First? Somalian kid. He upset, you said? Ben McAdams? I don't know these people. But fuck Mike Lee. I was about to say it. I was like, I know Mike Lee, I know O'Leary, I know Cox, and fuck all of them. Sure. Are they buddies? No shit. 20 years? No, like for real best friends? Like BFF? Oh, don't let Trump find out about that. I also learned recently that him and the Netanyahu and Javier Milei are cousins. Did you know that? Yeah, fucking small world. That's crazy. Mitt Romney and Netanyahu are buddies. Like, what do they even fucking talk about? Colonialism? Yes.
I traveled all the way from London to hear you tell the joke about accounting and
Oh shit! This is now it's getting scary. Well, first of all, I'm quite flattered that you came all the way from London. First of all, I remember you asking that earlier. I don't remember the accent earlier when you asked. So you might be fucking with me right now. But I will say, I mean, you know, it is quite honorable that you came all the way from London. And you're like, I have to see him in the biggest city in America. Salt Lake City. You really came from London? Yeah, and are you visiting for a little bit? Well, they live here. Okay, so, but you're not here to see them, right? You're here to see me. You just said you came to see me do my accounting Epstein joke. You just want to hear it? Why not? Because it's 10 minutes long, and
Why not? Why not? I'm from Utah. Who gives a shit?
Okay, so guys, obviously, I understand that as see, I thought you were weird. He's weirder. Okay, he's got fucking 10 minutes. Here, hey, here's something better. Fuck Mike Lee. Fuck Mike Lee. And now he's like, all right, I'll take that. Okay, listen. Okay, that was weird. All right, a lot of weirdness going on here. Now, obviously, if I wanted to please the crowd, I would do the 10-minute accounting bit, okay? However, it's 11:11. I don't feel like doing accounting right now. I don't feel like doing the bit. It's 10 minutes long. I haven't done it in a long time. It's already posted on the internet for the world to see. It's a great bit. I want to do it justice by leaving it on there. But I know if I do it, I'll make you guys happy. But I'm not going to. Because I love myself. I love myself, and fuck Mike Lee. Thank you so much, Salt Lake City. I love you guys. Thank you.